All right, welcome back to a Raptors podcast. I'm your host, as always, Lucky Roberts, and this is going to be a quick episode just talking about basically the All-Star break and my opinions on that. I guess I'll get the obvious out of the way. The only real Raptors representation, I know we saw some Pascal Siakam in the All-Star game, but the only real Raptors representation that was at the All-Star break was Grady Dick in the Rising Stars game, where he performed pretty well. I actually thought his Team C, Rising Stars Team C, was going to do pretty well, but they ended up falling to Team T. He balled out for Team T. They fell to Team C. He had a game-high 12 points, hit a couple threes, had a couple layuffs, some nice passes as well. Was kind of a leader for that Team C squad. And he had a funny moment where he was balling out for Team T, and then Stephon Castle gets switched onto him. He's talking to Stephon Castle. He's like, yeah, fun's over. Stephon's like, sorry, I got to guard you now. He's like, fun's over. Yeah, I get it. It's too bad. Well, funny stuff there, and it sort of points to another issue, which is just the lack of trying in the entire All-Star break. This one was the most egregious. I thought, originally I was a fan of the changes because, at least they're trying something and they have, at least they're understanding that there is an issue with it, but this was a reverse. They reverted with this new format just because there's less basketball now. It seemed to me that the focus was more on Ernie and Shaq and Charles Barkley and Kenny the Jet Smith than the actual basketball product. And it seemed like they were just crossing some T's and dotting some I's, which it's kind of felt like that for a long, long time, except for that one game in, I think it was 2022 or 2021, where the Raptors, Nick Nurse, Pascal Siakam, and Kyle Lowry really brought out the best of the All-Star game and showed just how entertaining it can be. It's the best on best, but it hasn't been like that for a couple years now, before and after that one special moment. And I don't think it's ever going to be like that again. It's gotten to the point where my roommate comes up to me and he's like, oh, you gonna watch the All-Star break? And I'm like, I don't know. I got other stuff going on, but yeah, I'll watch it. And then I'm up in my room and like, oh man, it's 8 o'clock. I guess I should come down and watch the games. And it took quite a while to get me down. I watched Grady in the Rising Stars, but to get me to watch the actual All-Star games took a lot because I knew what I was signing up for, and it was even worse than I thought it was going to be. I'm lucky I had my roommate there because if he wasn't, I'm probably just on my phone that entire time because it was boring. It was just so boring. There was the same highlights that you always see, which is just Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry running the show, hawking up threes and hitting some crazy ones, but it's just like, I've seen you do that. That can't carry the All-Star game 5 straight years, right? And it's not. It was funny because I thought Trae Young was a deserving All-Star, and he finally got some time, and he actually put on a bit of a show, but nobody in the crowd was giving him anything. Like you see Kyrie or Steph make like a one-handed pass behind the back, and everybody's going crazy, and then Trae Young inbounds it literally right after that off of Kyrie Irving, puts it through. I don't know. I don't think it was Giannis, but sure, just for the sake of argument, through Giannis's legs, and then a behind-the-back dish to Wembanyama under the basket. It was nasty. Nobody cared because nobody cares. The only reason that they were cheering was for Curry and because it was in San Francisco. That's the only reason. I mean, they can't even get their guys to come out and do the dunk contests, do the three-point contests when they're in their city. It was incredible. The halftime show was a joke. I mean, I respect E40. I don't think I know any of his songs, and I don't think anybody in that arena did either. And then they had Saweetie, Don't Listen to Her Music. I knew the Best Friend song from Madden. That's about it. And whoever else they were throwing out there. It was really rough because they were trying to obviously do something similar, but it's just like, I'm here to watch basketball. I'm not here to watch people I don't know sing songs I don't know, So, just, that was a mistake. Also, who the hell was that DJ? And I'm mesmerized by how far it has gotten. And that was one of the things that was keeping me going. I was like, sure, it was a nice moment seeing Shaq, Kenny, and whatever getting their swimsuits on or whatever. But Kevin Hart doesn't need to be that big of a part of this. Like he's making quips at these guys, but even the players were like, "What the hell is going on here? Like this is not a comedy show. This is basketball. Let's get on. Let's get this going." And Shea was saying the same thing. He's like, "Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this over with." Because it was like 3 hours long for games to 40, which the All-Star game goes to like 200. So they score quickly, and the games were over quickly, and it was just not worth the watch. None of the games were competitive. None of the players were trying, and it was everything that we've seen before. And so I think the question is, how do you fix it? I think you, first of all, instantly go back. It's a resounding, not just me, everybody's saying it. You got to go back to the original format and, try to think of something else to get these players to play hard, or you find them or something, because that's unacceptable. What we saw, and getting people to pay top dollar to go into the arena and see that, it's a waste of people's time. It really is. That was, and it was also capitalized by the fact that you had Wembanyama and Chris Paul come into the skills challenge, which, first of all, who watches the skills challenge anyway? And they go, and they don't even shoot the shots. They're there to win, and it's like, okay, I respect you being there to win, but you gotta abide by some sort of the rules. Like, this is for fun. We're not. It's supposed to be competitive, but it's supposed to be competitive for fun. It's not competitive for the sake of competitiveness, and it's not fun for the sake of fun. It's competitive for the sake of fun, and that was. They got rightfully disqualified, is all I'll say. But that's sort of reminiscent of the entire problem with the All-Star game, is these guys just don't, they're getting paid way too much to phone it in that much. That's all I have to say about it. I'd rather see, like, I thought the HBCU Classic was a great idea, bringing in 2 HBCUs to come and play a game over the weekend. Let's just do that, showcase the best college talent, and let them have an all-star game, because I don't think they do. So bring them all. The All-Americans don't have a game against each other, so bring them all up, let them play against each other, and let them earn some money, because they're not, they're earning a little bit, but let them earn some Mac McClung money in the dunk contest in these games, and I know for a fact that they'll try hard. It's and I know if I was in the player situation, I'd be doing the same thing, but it's on them. It's entirely on them. Like, at a certain point, you have to take it personal. You have to take some of it personal. They have this. It's like they're calling peace in the middle of war. Like, it makes no sense. It's really frustrating, and I just hope the NBA fixes it. But it was fun to see Grady Dick out there, I guess, playing well. It was good to see him playing well, but good to see Siakam out there playing well in the first of his games. He didn't really play in the finals well that much. But yeah, I think it's just a waste of time, waste of everybody's time, waste of money. I'm glad the NBA tried to do something, but it was a mistake, and at the end of the day, it's on the players. They got to figure something out to actually try, and if the NBA needs to find these players, if they need to just completely scrap the idea, and just honorarily honor these guys, say they're all-stars and give them a break, that's something you can do as well. But this is a waste of everybody's time, and I feel like I'm just going to be wasting your time, so if I'm restating that over and over again. So I appreciate you guys listening to a Raptors podcast. I'll see you guys next week with some real NBA basketball. Got 2 games in store with the Raptors. Hopefully, I mean, it'll be better. It'll be at least more competitive than the All-Star game was. So I appreciate you guys for listening. You can follow me on Twitter if you like, or not. I'm not your not your boss. Anyway, see you guys next time.